Excellent. Bonjour tout le monde. Bienvenue à cette rencontre des premiers ministres ici à Ottawa. We have had over the years, including often in this room, many really consequential First Ministers meetings. Many of you have been at a number of them. Some of you are new. Welcome to these conversations. We've talked about everything from climate to health to COVID to issues that matter deeply for Canadians. And this is certainly a moment to gather and reflect on challenges and opportunities in the relationship with the United States. It's great to see everyone here now. Thank you for coming together. This is important, obviously, for us to do the work to pull together, but it's also an important moment for Canadians to see us coming together to deal with the most important relationship. I'd like to highlight that we are also joined virtually by two of our colleagues, Danielle Smith and David Eby, who weren't able to be here in person, but it's important that everyone be here around the table, virtually or in person, to be able to make sure that every corner of the country is heard in its particular and deep relationship with the United States. I'm joined here around the table by Ministers Leblanc and Joly, who've been working very, very hard on the Canada-US file over the past many months, but also by our ambassador in Washington, Kirsten Hillman, who, as you all know, has been leading this relationship extremely ably on the ground in Washington. I also bring the regards of the National Indigenous Organizations. I sat down with the leadership of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis earlier this morning to get their perspective, to talk about the need for all of us across this country to be standing up in the best interest of Canadians and looking to deepen and advance the most important relationship, international relationship we have with the United States. Avec une nouvelle administration américaine, il y a des opportunités et des défis. Donc, ça va être important pour se rassembler, pour parler de l'intérêt des Canadiens et des emplois, de la croissance économique. Our First Ministers meeting today will have two main themes. The first one we're going to cover is opportunities for increased and deepened partnership with the United States. The second theme this afternoon after lunch will be our response to possible tariffs. Il y a deux thèmes de notre conversation aujourd'hui. Tout d'abord, les opportunités qu'on a dans notre dynamique avec les Américains, avec la nouvelle administration, des opportunités de croissance, d'emploi, de partenariats plus approfondis. Et deuxièmement, après le lunch, on va parler des tarifs potentiels et comment on peut et on pourrait et devrait répondre à ces tarifs-là. On the opportunities for partnership, there's a number of different things. First of all, on borders, Dominic is going to present to you all the different elements of our massive border plan. It features three main issues. First of all, the joint fight against illegal drugs, particularly fentanyl. We have been working on this for a number of years, but there are a number of measures that we're going to be able to step up on and do more on. That's extremely important to the incoming administration. It actually is one of the key elements that they expressed most concern about. So that's the first part of the borders issue. La deuxième partie sur nos frontières, c'est de maintenir et de renforcer la sécurité de nos frontières de façon en partenariat avec les États-Unis. Joint continued management of border security is really going to matter to people, and there are elements on that. And the third element on borders is ensuring the continued integrity of our immigration systems. That is something that is obviously a political pressure in the United States that we can demonstrate a strong response to, and Dominic will be getting into that. But the other opportunities for partnership on energy and critical minerals, we all know in 2023, for example, the U.S. imported about $123 billion worth of energy into the U.S. It is an extraordinarily important relationship for them that powers their jobs, their industry, their homes. We need to continue that, and we can even do more on energy, as I know they want to. Critical minerals represent a key area of development as well, where we have the ingredients in the technological transformation of our economies that the Americans need. If they don't get them from Canada, they'll get them from China. And if they can't get them from Canada or China, they don't get them from anywhere. And that is going to be a real issue for them. So there's lots of opportunities for us to deepen that. We also are going to be talking about the joint defense of our continent, which obviously leans in heavily on Arctic sovereignty, where we have specific responsibilities and made significant investments. There's also lots of procurement opportunities with Americans as we increase the ability to protect Canadians in a more complex and unstable world. Obviously, that's something that we have made significant investments in, close to tripling our defense spending between 2015 and 2030, but there's always more to do. Bottom line on opportunities is strengthening the strongest trade relationship in the world and creating jobs on both sides of the border. That's what this is all about. So that's what we'll spend our morning on. This afternoon, we're going to dig into the response to possible tariffs. We will have already been and will continue to be united in standing up for all Canadians, standing up for the national interest. And a big part of that is actually defending and promoting the most successful economic relationship the world has ever seen in the face of shifting geopolitical pressures and realities. We are the best friend to Canada, and we can do lots of things together, and we need to make sure that doing those things together is as easy and as beneficial on both sides of the border as it possibly can be. So that's what we'll talk about this afternoon. Finally, let me just say that this First Ministers' meeting on Canada-US relations is important because every different region of the country has a deep relationship with our single biggest trading partner, and making sure that the interests and the concerns of all Canadians are fed into our national response, our national perspective, and the way Canadians, we've already seen, are ferocious about standing up for our interests, our sovereignty in a number of ways over the past while. They'll be looking to us to make sure that together we are demonstrating that Canada is looking for that win-win, looking for that continued and deepened great relationship with the United States that will be beneficial to all of us. On se rassemble ici parce que c'est important que les Canadiens puissent voir et que le monde puisse voir à quel point nous sommes unis dans l'intérêt national de tous les Canadiens, avec toutes les particularités de les relations à travers le pays, qu'on va être là pour défendre les Canadiens et le Canada. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you all. I'm now very happy to pass it over to the chair of the Council of the Federation to give a few public remarks before we roll up our sleeves and get into it. Turning to you, Doug.
Well, thank you so much, Prime Minister, and thank you for calling this meeting. I want to acknowledge our great group of premiers. I always say this is the greatest group of premiers I've ever seen, from right across the country, from coast to coast to coast, but all different political stripes. And also want to acknowledge the ambassador and the great ministers. And I know Minister LeBlanc had an opportunity to come by yesterday. We had a great discussion on border security. I look forward to seeing it being well, it was a phenomenal plan. Now we have to implement that phenomenal plan and have our minister, or your minister, I should say, get out there and explain that to the people. Prime Minister, you also mentioned about NATO meeting our 2%. I have to give a shout out to Premier Wab Kinew. He's leading the charge on that. There you are, Wab. Absolute champion when it comes to that. So thank you for your leadership on that file. We also need to learn more about where the government's retaliatory tariffs. I'm a strong believer in retaliatory tariffs. You can't let someone hit you over the head with a sledgehammer without hitting them back twice as hard, in my opinion. We're also eager to learn more about other considerations that we can hit back beyond the tariffs. And lastly, we need to hear from the federal government about how quickly and effectively the support comes to workers and businesses through the tariffs that we receive. It's absolutely critical. we get it out to the people as quickly as possible. Over the past several months, I know all my colleagues and our federal government have been reaching out to the people in their jurisdictions, reaching out to union members, reaching out to businesses, but reaching out to our counterparts in the U.S. And I can tell you, I'll just speak for myself, not for the Federation, but every U.S. elected official I speak to, governor, Congress person, or senators, I'm not hearing that they support going after Canada. What I hear is they have an issue with China, not Canada. And we just have to continue reaching out to our counterparts and friends and business people down in the U.S. because it's not productive at all. And I'm just so proud of everyone stepping up to be part of Team Canada. Part of being Team Canada means recognizing and respecting each other's provinces and territories. I know everyone has different areas that they're very concerned about. We have to respect their concerns, but nothing is more important than the country. Country comes first over the jurisdictions, and this is my opinion. It also means, working together, going out there and working as a team, Team Canada, but it also means using every tool in our toolbox. We need to enter these negotiations from a position of strength with as much leverage as possible. I've been in business for years, like a lot of people around this table. I've been in politics for years. You don't go into a meeting or negotiation showing the opposition what sort of cards you have in your hand. It doesn't work that way. And rest assured, if we use every tool, Canada has a lot of leverage, as you were saying, Prime Minister. And again, we'll be dealing through strength, not weakness. Moving forward, premiers need the regular meeting of engagement, either with yourself, Prime Minister, or one of your ministers. They both are doing a great job. And the ambassador, again, I want to thank you for communicating, being down in Washington, reaching out to counterparts and just making sure the U.S. understands our message. We are not the enemy. We're your closest ally, we're your closest friend. As I've always said, the AMCAN fortress. We work together. We can be the strongest, richest, wealthiest, safest countries in the world if we stick together and we work together. So thank you, and I'll pass it back to you, Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Doug. I'll thank our friends in the media. We'll speak with you guys again later in the day, but thank you very much for being here.